Now, Gotham seems to collect Ron's pencils. I always enjoy this moment. Right? Thank goodness you've made it. Welcome to the lab. Indeed, this is where Rena and I assembled our crown jewel. Isn't she a beauty?
Yeah, it's something, all right.
But there's no time to waste. Here, let me walk you around and show you how everything works. You'll need to know all this when the time comes.
When we put you back together again, here in the real world?
Yes, exactly. Now, this operation was designed as a two-man operation, Rena and myself, so I'm afraid you'll have to do the work of two people when you're here.
I'm pretty sure I can handle it.
I have no doubt someone as young and healthy as yourself should have no problem. Oh, good Lord, it's roasting down here. Let's get the air circulation running again. That should bring the temperature down. There's 3 breakers nearby. Throw them to get the air moving again. One down, just 2 to go. There we go. Now then, let's take a look around. And that, Miss Patterson, is the capacitor.
It's huge.
It is indeed. Has to be in order to hold all the energy required to tear open a portal to another dimension.
You say that like it's so obvious.
It's incredible, is what it is. You see, what we do is trickle charge the capacitor. It builds up a massive amount of energy, and then we fire it, all at once in an extremely targeted way. The blast is so strong, it pricks a hole in the fabric of reality itself. It opens a door to the parallel. But that's only part of the story. It's all well and good to open the door, but the parallel is a world without limits, and that makes it dangerous. If one simply walked in, they could simply disappear. We realized that we had to give ourselves some guidance, and that's where the probes come in. Here, I'll show you. Do you see these devices mounted on the top?
Those big plugs? Yeah, I see them.
Those are the probes. Very important. They shape the signal to the parallel. It's essential that they're positioned just so. If they're even an inch out of place, we're in trouble.
Why are they so important?
How to explain? Have you ever had to use an antenna?
I guess, once in a while.
You know how you have to adjust it at times in order to pick up a signal?
Sure, I guess. I have to move my phone around sometimes to get a better Wi-Fi signal.
The same principle applies. Because you see, the frequency is critical. You have to get it right. When it's tuned just so, then the information can flow. It's like a current of electricity into and out of the parallel. It's a bit like finding a radio station on the dial, I suppose. At first, just static, and then all of a sudden the music comes through loud and clear.
I see.
Look over here. Look at these computers. Do you see them?
Wow, those are old school.
Do you know what we use them for?
Listening to really, really old music?
No, we use them to store people.
Say what?
Right at the moment of transit, the traveler becomes data. Becomes ones and zeros, just for a moment. We needed a place to safely store that data because obviously it's very important that data reconstitutes back into flesh and blood when travelers return.
Wow.
My DNA is in these machines, or my genetic blueprint is anyway. We'll need to use the data stored in these machines to retrieve the blueprint, so that I can be put together again. Correctly, of course. My head needs to be on my shoulders and so on. Everything where it's supposed to be. Now, look here, on the lab floor. See anything unusual? You don't usually see a grand piano in a lab, eh? Rena insisted we move it down here so that she could play. She and I spent so much time in the lab that we added a few of the comforts of home. And there's nothing Rena loved more than her music.
Aw, that's sweet.
When I'm here, I can feel her close to me. Can't you?
Huh? I don't know. Not really.
Come now, don't you? Perhaps just a little bit.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess I do, kind of.
Indeed. At any rate, let's move on. Behind these sealed fire doors is one of the battery rooms. Good job we have these doors, actually. Those batteries can get a bit pungent, what with the chemicals and whatnot. Wouldn't want you passing out, miss.
I do feel a little funny now that you mention it.
Then we won't linger. All you need to know is that these batteries are critical to the operation. Without their power, the capacitor would be useless. Now then, it's time to take a look at something really special. Over here, this way to the Weaver. Down, please. It took over 1.5 years just to build the capacitor. It would have taken much longer if we hadn't had the gravity tool to assemble it. I had parts of it commissioned from factories all over the country. We assembled it here like the world's largest model kit. All right, here we are. Now, we meet the business end of the device.
God, it's loud!
There's the parallel foil. Recognize the umbilicus down there? You don't usually see it from this angle, eh? And that's the Weaver. See the ring? It weaves the cables that run down the side of the silo into the umbilicus. A person's data is transmitted down the umbilicus, and then it's put back together again there at the foot of the machine. It's a bit like a telephone, you see? Phones send voices over wires to another location. But in this case, instead of transmitting our voices, we transmitted ourselves. Now let's go upstairs and take a look at the nerve center of the whole operation, the control room. From up here, we can see the status of all the device's critical systems. It also comes with a pretty spectacular view. When the time comes, you'll need to come up here in order to adjust the probes.
The probes are the antenna, right? They pick up the signal?
Exactly so. Now, we keep the probes locked in place, and you'll need to unlock them by disengaging the magnetic clamping system. You'll do so by using these series of levers here by the side of the console. Once the probes are released from the couplings, you'll be able to use the gravity tool to reposition them into alternative sockets. Everything looks to be shipshape for now, though, so let's head down to the barometer. Down, please. You know, we might be able to cheat the system. If I get inside and bridge a circuit and you give the barometer a whack, it might skip to the next circuit.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Okay, let's see if this works. Right there. Now, okay, I think I've got it. Now give it a bash.
Okay, bashing coming right up.
I can't believe that actually works.
I take it you found your way into the lab. How did the equipment look? Was there much damage? How was the capacitor?
That is the most mad scientist place I've ever seen.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Seriously, if people knew about that place?
Let's not worry about other people right now. Best if we just get started. Yes, I see the lab. It's held up remarkably well. Do you remember what I said to you? How I first described the lab?
Dunno. You said a lot of things.
I told you that things you've dreamed of are waiting for you there.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to say.
Let's see this through, Patterson. You're so important to me. You're helping me help Rena. I will forever be grateful. I will repay you. You have my word.
If this helps Rena, then cool.
Your lips to God's ear, my dear. Now, if you have more memories for me.
Here you go.
Good. Good. Things are coming along. Now we can start to work on the extraction plan. With any luck, I'll be back in the real world soon. God, I can't wait to feel the sun on my skin and see real trees again. Tell me, Patterson, how do you feel?
Who, me? I feel fine.
Good, because we're close. But we're not done yet. We should brace ourselves mentally for whatever comes next. We are facing many unknowns. For example, we don't know if I can even cross back over safely. We don't know if I'll be able to make the necessary repairs to the machine. Who knows if I can pinpoint her location, or if she's even alive. I don't know if this will be a search and rescue operation, or a search and retrieval operation. Do you understand my meaning?
You're saying you don't know if you're saving Rena or just retrieving her body?
Yes, exactly. I can't bear to think of that way, but I must. I have to prepare myself for every eventuality. You should too. I'll see you soon.
Good. You're back. We have a lot of work to do. Let's take a look at those reels for reels. Only a few of them are running, and that won't be enough. We need all of them if we're going to access my genetic blueprint. 2 to go. Huzzah! We are in business! Right. Now, as I said before, when someone goes through the machine, their DNA is transformed into data. I don't mean to startle you, Patterson, but you are on these tapes now.
I am?
Indeed. Each time you've gone into the parallel, the machines have facilitated your travel. And as a result, they had to capture some of you. Your data doppelganger is in these machines. For the moment, anyway.
Well, let's delete that. Right now.
We will write over these tapes, don't worry.
Whoa! What was that?
Oh, blasted. There must have been an overload in the battery room. Oh, we don't have time for this sort of setback. Let's see if we can fix it. I see the problem here. Look at this mess. Do you see those burnt-out power couplings? First thing we need to do is take those out and replace them with spare batteries. I think we can fix this. Come here. Use the gravity tool to take out those burnt batteries right here. The batteries should just come right out, no problem. Just pull them towards you. Very good. Now it's out with the old, in with the new. We've got some spare batteries right there. Just pop them right in. Tower hasn't come back on yet. Oh, I remember. Once inserted, you will need to turn them to make the connection, like a light bulb, if you will. Once you rotate them, you should see a green light on the top. Just slide the replacement battery into the slot and turn it to lock it into position. Look for batteries with a red light. If it's red, it means it's either dead or not anchored correctly. We're not done yet, I'm afraid. Let's go back to the control room.
You really got me running all over the place.
I know, it's a bit mad going up and down like this. Normally, Rena helps with this process. Now, we need to power down the magnetic couplings so we can safely move the probes.
Oh yeah, I remember.
We need to release them before we can adjust them. Just pull the levers here to release the magnetic clamps. Well done! Do you see the green light on the couplings? That means we can move the probes. Follow me. There are only 2 places where you can easily move the probes. The gantry here, or from the main lab floor. Very good. Now, here comes the tricky part. Use your gravity tool to move the probes, but be careful. That's lovely. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Let's move the probe here. This should help us dial in the carrier signal. Well done! On to the next probe. Glorious! Here you go. Just place it here. Huzzah! All done. Okay, we need to head back to the control room to activate the magnetic clamps to secure everything before we can return to the parallel. The probes have been adjusted. Brilliant. Now, all we have to do is simply lock them back into place. Just push the levers back into position.
Stop.